Hi, it's another really lovely evening. I can't believe all this amazing weather in Britain that we're having. It's so lovely. Although I have been in bed most of the day resting. In fact, I've still got my nightie on and it doesn't look much like a nightie, so I'm hoping it'll be okay. But I just wanted to carry on from yesterday and talk about people who've inspired me, and also one person who's really inspired me who I actually got to meet. And so really what I want you to be thinking about before I tell you who it was I met is, who have you met that's famous and what impact has it made to you? And have you got any funny stories around that? Because, um, you know, it'd just be great to hear back from you. Um, so I will tell you that I've always been really inspired by Vivienne Westwood. I've always loved her fashion sense and the fact that she came from Yorkshire and then she ended up meeting Malcolm McLaren and moving down to London, and then, the rest is history. She totally did all this amazing work and like was in the whole punk era and really was one of the main people who formed all that. And I remember visiting her shop in the King's Road, and it was just fantastic. Her work was amazing, and so I just absolutely loved her. And so when I did I started off in a fashion degree when I went to university in Liverpool, and one of the things that they did was they would take us down to London just to go to shows, and we went down there to go to this fashion conference, and Vivienne Westwood was the keynote speaker. So I just thought, this is amazing. I'm so excited because I'm going to get to see her speak. I'm going to get to, she's been such a hero for me over the years, and definitely somebody who made me want to do fashion, although I didn't end up doing fashion, but we'll get into that another time. But so I just couldn't wait for her to get on, and she didn't turn up. She just didn't turn up. We don't even know. There wasn't even any excuse. She just didn't arrive. And I think they put on somebody like Paul Costello or something as well. And I was just like, oh, I really want to see Vivienne. So I just left early, and I'd even put on all my outfit, that was really sort of in homage to her. I had my clogs on, I had this full circular skirt. I just was totally wearing like this outfit, which reminded me of what she was about as a fashion designer. And so I got on the tube and she was just sitting there. Yes, I know, it is bonkers. I was meant to see her that evening at this conference, and she was on the tube going home from work. I couldn't believe it. And so I was like, you were meant to be at the conference? And I just sat down beside her. She was with somebody else, but I just started speaking to her and was like, totally like, I'm so glad to meet you. I couldn't wait to meet you. And, and you didn't turn up. And I just was like really like quite bold, really, I suppose, because I said, well, can I stay on the tube until you get off? Because I'd just really love to talk to you, because I was meant to go off the next stop. And so she just was chatting away to me, and then she basically could see how keen I was about who she was, and she said, well, why don't you leave your degree course and come and work for me? Can you sew? And I was just like, yeah, I can do that, thinking I really can't sew. I'm useless at sewing. I'm just wing it with everything I do creatively. I haven't learnt anything in that respect. So, but I didn't tell her that. I was just like totally like, yeah, I really want to come and work for you. And then when I thought about it, like afterwards, I thought I just didn't want to leave my degree. I thought it was too big a move for me to leave Liverpool and move to London. So what I did do was I obviously sent her a letter and said, I'd love to come and work for you. And so I went and did a work placement, and it was during London Fashion Week. So I got to do that, which was another amazing experience. And I saw all these quite famous models and famous people, and I was helping on this show, and I was behind the scenes doing, they were, Malcolm McLaren was there, their son that they have, just a load of famous people, and I was helping with the dressing and making things happen. And then because I was involved in all that, I could go out when the models were all ready, I could go out and watch it. So I got a really good spot in the fashion show with my Pentax K1000 camera back then, which was like with my 50mm lens, and I loved this camera. I took so many photos with it. I knew how to use it inside out, this camera, and so I got some really, really good shots. Now, the thing is, being really a little bit ditzy art student, I just put the camera, the film to one side afterwards. Didn't even get it developed very quickly. And then I reloaded the film into my Pentax without realising. So all these lovely shots of this fashion show, you know, where I was like, photographers were trying to push me out of the way to get the space that I was in, and I wouldn't let them because I was like, I want to be here and take these shots, and I had just not even got it developed. So then I thought, I wonder where that film is, and anyway, I then finally got them developed, and what happened was I had reloaded it, and I'd taken these photos of like derelict houses in Belfast. So here's, I don't know where the photos are at the minute, but here's like the photo of the derelict houses. Like, so it was like a row of them just near where my granny lived, and they were amazing looking. They'd pulled out the fireplace out of every house, so you could look down the whole row through the holes in all the fireplaces, and it was just an amazing experience. But another one, but very different from Vivienne Westwood one. But as you can see, the models then were going into these brick walls, and so this was the model from the fashion show, and she was wearing this beautiful ball gown that had all of these interior stately home shots in them with chandeliers and everything, and she was all buffy looking. It looked amazing, and she was walking through these brick walls with the images I had, and you can see there's another one, and it's just like the way that the models were dressed really went with these terraced houses, although it was obviously working class meets like upper class, you know. And then that one was another one that was really beautiful as well. So basically I was like, well, that was a great result. It was totally and utterly not planned at all. If it had been planned, it probably would have been quite genius, but I didn't plan it. It just happened that way. And yeah, so that is my story about Vivienne Westwood. I absolutely loved having that experience, you know, on that show, and it was just a really thrilling time, and I'm just glad I got to meet her and got to work with her, and that's about it. Another story, a very quick one, is that my twin sister did meet Paul McCartney once just on Oxford Street, and she was looking right at him, and he went, "Hey, you looking at?" And she went, "Yeah," like that, and then she just ran off. It was really, really totally, his sense of humor was there. It was really cheap, you know. He was obviously really cheeky still, and yeah, I thought that was a funny one, because that's like, you know, she didn't really take the opportunity the way that I did with meeting Vivienne Westwood. But it's very, but it's just, you know, have you got any of those stories? And also, just before we sign off, I want to say thanks again for your comments. Like yesterday, Amber, it was really great. You just posting some of your lampshades that you've received from us, and you've got 3 of them in your house. It's lovely to see them in their space. We always love to see that. So thank you for sending those, Amber. And I've just been getting a lot of comments as well from people still coming in, just saying, you know, I'm glad your recovery's going well. And even people who've had hysterectomies or are going for them, and, you know, that the posts have really helped them. So that's great news for me. I'm really happy about that. And I'll probably keep reflecting and hopefully come up with a few other stories, and just anything else that I hope will be of interest, you know. So so have another great evening, and it's been great to have a chat with you.